to the semi-finals of Pro Tour Philadelphia 2011 with your host Rich Hagan and Pro Tour historian Mr. Brian David Marshall. The players are getting ready to go. You see Sam Black on the left of your screen. There he is in his StarCityGames.com shirt, just getting ready for the action to begin. I can tell you he is mulligan to 6 in his opening game, and he is up against the smiling Josh Utter-Leyton, who mulligan to 5 for his opening hand of the match. We've got Mono Blue Poison for Black and Zoo for Josh Utter-Leyton, who begins this semi-final with Arid Mesa.
We're looking forward to a quick match here. We don't have a lot of oxygen in our two-person submarine as we webcast from beneath the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Philadelphia.
Preordain from Sam for turn 1. Already in hand, he's got Progenitus and Dragonstorm. That was a feature of his quarterfinal. Those two seemed glued together throughout. Looks like he has a peer through depths as well and double muddle the mixture. That's what's looking like it. The Elspeth Knight Errant Lightning Bolt for Josh amongst his cards. Sam passes the turn. Josh decides not to crack his Arid Mesa. And we'll add a second copy. Sam straight away crack blue-red fetchland, which will go and get Island.
It always gets Island for Sam.
Yeah. Yes,
So I don't know if Nakajima had a one-card hand to start off his semifinal match, but he only played one spell on his first turn. So a little different than his previous couple of games he played on his way to the semifinals.
A little suboptimal. Once again, Josh not cracking the lands, trying to maximize his chances to find more. Just passes the turn, doesn't lay land number 3, doesn't find one. The Blighted Agent sitting there. Has a potential to kill if Josh has nothing. We know, of course, he has a Lightning Bolt. Sam will preordain. Take a look. That looks like Summoner's Pact at the front. And he's going to send both cards away.
Ooh.
Draws.
Let's see what you have.
Yeah. So let's see why you weren't cracking everything. So Josh says sure, and it's double Lightning Bolt, Elspeth, and Bant Charm. Bant Charm, super versatile, kill an artifact, put a creature to the bottom, counter an instant. Pretty expensive though, so that was one of the things Sam said. He said, you know, maybe if I get lucky, we can... Josh has to spend quite a lot of mana on these things. He mentioned Bant Charm specifically. So Sam's taken a look with his Gataxian Probe.
15.
Plays Watery Grave, drops to 15. There you see Josh's hand.
15, 20. No blocks. 1 poison.
Attack for 1! And let's have a backup. No Pyroclasm main deck for Josh.
No.
So he finds a plane, so Sam still has perfect information about Leighton's hand. And I'll send them both in.
3 poison. Go.
Black has Progenitus, Dragonstorm, Peer Through Depths, and a Muddle the Mixture in hand. There's Josh, trying to work out what to do with some currently relatively unexciting cards. He decides now is the time to crack his 2 lands.
I'm going to go to 14.
And he goes off in search of more double color goodness.
Your life away.
And one of those things about playing against the Infect deck is you never have to worry about taking damage from your lands coming into play untapped, from your fetch lands.
There is literally no way for Sam to deal any damage, is there?
It would involve his opponent giving him a Beast Within token.
Oh, okay.
So I think we're going to see, Bant Charm on one of these.
So let's send that to the bottom.
Cut the amount of time it'll take to kill me naturally in half.
Yeah. So we'll be back up to a 6-turn clock, which seems ample.
Cards left. 4. That's what I thought.
Two copies of Elspeth, 2 copies of Lightning Bolt for Josh.
Sam's going to take this opportunity to peer through depths.
And he has found a Blazing Shoal amongst the 5. He has Muddle, Progenitus, Dragonstorm as his 3 cards.
Shows him the Blazing Shoal.
I'll have this, thank you.
Now he will just let his Blighted Edge die. He only has to protect the other one now.
Back to the bottom of the library, where Bant Charm sends it, so can't see that in the graveyard. Josh is drawn into a Lightning Helix.
But he already had 2 bolts, so. And this is where you see the problems for Sam with this deck.
Yeah.
2 cheap removal spells, and it's pretty hard for him to protect. But it looks like he may have drawn fairly well there.
Yep, that looks like a Spell Pierce at the end, so attack. Sam is going to go for it. So there is Progenitus being discarded.
Muddle.
Yep. Muddle your bolt. We know that there is another one coming. Sam has the Spell Pierce, and
Game
that
1
is
to Sam Black.
game 1 to Sam Black. He takes the opener, and the crowd like that one. Now, I've got to be honest, that surprises me slightly, because ignoring the 2 players, you would have thought instinctively the players in a field of combo would be like, go on, Wild Animals, go on, the Cattle, go on, Tarmogoyf. But no, people seem to like the whole Blazing Shoal thing.
People, yeah, it's been an exciting deck to watch this weekend.
Sure.
And, people had a very strong reaction to it. We showed it in the card previews. Yeah, let's take a look at what these guys are doing in their sideboard. I mean, Sam's obviously going to go for Spell Skates.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get the sideboards up for you, so you can have a good look at what they might be doing. How much do players test their potential semi-final matchups? There is Sam Black's board,
they don't have a ton of time. I mean, sometimes you'll talk to a player and they'll be like, oh, I've got this great quarterfinal matchup, so I really focused on my semifinal, but you just don't know who you're going to play, so.
So what are we looking at there? We've got one
We're certainly looking at the Spell Skies. We may see a Dismember or a Slaughter Pack come in.
Just to try and give himself a little more time against a big Tarmogoyf kind of thing?
Or just to maybe clear the air. He's like, okay, well, I think he's going to play a 2/1 flyer. I want to be able to...
Oh, so to kill the Evan Mind Sensor.
Yeah, kill the Mind Sensor.
Yeah.
Get through. Echoing Truth. Just some stuff that's going to let him interact with Josh Utter-Leyton's board.
Okay.
And his creatures.
Let's take a look at Josh Utter-Leyton's sideboard if we can. We'll show you what he's up to. There you are. And those 3 Avon Mind Sensors have been so good.
Sure.
This weekend. So good.
And we'll probably see that whole sort of counter package come in with the Flash Freezes, the Unified Will. He probably brings in the extra Tectonic Edge. And he said he was going to be bringing in his Miser's Grim Lavamancer.
Yeah, because, well, why not? That's exactly what...
if he gets that on the board, it's just going to give Sam fits.
So there is Josh, 1 behind.
And both of these guys didn't waste a lot of time thinking about their sideboards. They clearly have their plans laid out. They worked with their friends over lunch, and they know exactly what they're doing for this game.
Incidentally, when you talk about friends over lunch, I think it's fair to say they both have some pretty good friends to have lunch with. Just talking about the team that was responsible for the Sam Black deck, you've got people like Zainbeg and Tom Martell, you've got Galdanis Vidigiris, and then, who's this? Hang on, I don't reckon. Oh, Zvi Moshevitz and John Finkel. Yeah, so That's kind of an interesting one. I was talking with Alex West just before round 1 on Friday, and he had scribbled his entire sideboard out. I mean, it was one of those panic 8:58 in the morning scrolls. I'm like, what's up with that? And he said, well, I had Zvi in one ear saying, this is your sideboard, it must be this. I had John Finkel in my other ear saying, it must be this. I mean, what do? You've got to go with one of them. And in the end, he went with John Finkel's sideboard and scribbled out the Zvi board. So, Black getting ready to go.
So it sounds like Samuele Estratti is on the wrong end of a 5-5 Inkamoth Nexus. An Arcbound Ravager went up to 4 and was flung to kill a Deceiver Exarch.
And then, of course, you get
and then
put
you
all
have
the
the counters,
+1.
and those counters went on to an Inkamoth Nexus. And those counters stay on even when it's not animated.
Sure.
So he's on 5 poison right now, and sounds like there might be 5 poison in his immediate future.
Yeah, and on dead shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
So Josh getting ready to go and hoping to take more than 5 this time around as he attempts to get into the final for the first time on camera. US national champion, of course, from 2010.
A great tweet from Josh over lunch. He just said, Pro Tour Top 8 lunch tastes a lot better this time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those weird things, and it was really lovely because these two actually kind of sat next to each other over dinner.
Sure.
And they were just chatting about the world going by. There was no trying to find an edge or anything. They were just, happy in each other's company. And
so something else nice that came out over lunch was that 2 of the players, Andre Prost and Jesse Hampton. It's funny. You go to a pro tour for the first time. Maybe you go with your friends. You're all qualified, and you go, oh yeah, we'll meet in the top 8 and we'll play.
Ho ho ho.
And it's like you're like, yeah, right. But these guys, playing in their first pro tour, rooming together. Both made the top 8, which is to me an amazing story and an amazing experience.
Yeah, it is great to share.
Oh boy. Okay.
So, unsurprisingly, Josh Utter-Leyton has elected to go first, and hopefully with 7 cards. Nakajima, we think, on the verge of a lead over Samuele Estratti in semi-final 2. You'll see some of that match as this one develops. Misty Rainforest, Bant Charm. Looks like a
not a lot of cheap removal in his hand, just the
Noble
Bant Charm.
Hierarch, Noble Hierarch, and Tarmogoyf. Oh, it's a Bant deck.
Okay.
But he likes to keep that.
Okay. Sam, meanwhile, has Blazing Shoal, Gitaxian Probe, Spellskite, Inkmoth Nexus.
Okay.
He's going to keep as well. It looked to me like there was a little hint of a Progenitus at the back there. So Josh is away, and this time it's the traditional crack the land straight away. In game 1, he elected not to. He's going to have a stomping ground, which looks like it's going to remain vertical to kick us off, and it's going to be Noble Hierarch turn 1.
Well, in game 1, he was just, he did not want to thin lands out of his deck because he was hoping to draw lands.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sam Black, turn 1. Will lay Moth Nexus and pass. Second land for Josh.
Take 2. Go.
Oh, well, that's an interesting turn of events. Despite the 5/5 Inkmoth Nexus, Estratti had 2 more
Deceiver
Exarchs and was able to tap it each turn, buy himself a turn, time walk, and then untap, play Splinter Twin, and take game 1. So Samuele Estratti up 1 game to nothing against Chikara Nakajima.
That is a shocker.
Yeah.
So Black is currently looking at Josh Utter-Leyton's hand.
Sees the Bant Charm.
Go.
Sounds like you were right, BDM, that single tectonic edge has come in just to,
for sure.
carry on up and get rid of a Nexus. And,
Spellskate draws out a Vamp Charm.
yep. Slaughter Pact has come in for
It was
Sam.
destroyed. You chose destroy an artifact, not put a creature on the bottom.
Right, clarifying that there were multiple ways that he could have dealt with that
Yes.
Spellskate.
Let us count the ways.
All of them Vamp Charm.
So, 3 mana.
Two.
Green Sun Zenith for 2.
Go get a Teague.
So, Gaddock Teague says,
Something for you to deal with.
yeah, says, terribly sorry about this, but it turns out that if you want to cast things that non-creatures that cost 4 or more, you can't. Anything with X in, you can't.
And then another Noble Hierarch
Yeah.
for Josh.
So that makes Gaddock Teague attack for 4.
Yes, it does. For 5 turns.
Yep.
Yeah. He doesn't really look like he would smash for 4, but that's what will happen. So Sam now with some questions to answer here in game
Go.
2. Peer through depths, Blazing Shoal. It was Progenitus at the back end there, I think. And he simply passes the turn.
Oh, boy.
14.
So looks like Sam is down to 14.
He'd taken 2 from his Gitaxian Probe earlier. There's a Tarmogoyf.
Looks like Sam's going to, once that's done, he's going to end a turn with Peer Through Depth. So let's look at the top 5, see whether there's something useful for him there. Well, it looks like he's found his 1 Snapback. Yep, that's exactly what he has found, so the rest go away.
Goyf's fine.
Josh looks like he's
That's me.
reaching out with 3 minutes. Is that going to be Avon Mind Sensor come down? We can't see on screen,
Yes,
but
that was.
that has to be what's up the top. That's what. Ta-da! There it is. Mind Sensor on the top. Saw it do sterling work down the stretch in Modern yesterday. And here, putting Sam under a lot of pressure. Gaddock Teague and Avon Mind Sensor in play. Decent-sized Tarmogoyf. A big fat Gaddock Teague.
And
Exalted twice.
Really what's going on there is it's there to block.
Yeah. It blocks that little Inkmoth Nexus should it feel the urge.
Like, yep, you might be able to deal with my Gaddock Teague, but then you're still going to get your Inkmoth Nexus blocked by my Avon Mind Sensor.
Sam is up to 8 cards in hand, but it is very difficult to see how he gets out of this one. Estratti, remember, surprisingly 1-0 up over Nakajima after Nakajima made his 5/5 Inkmoth Nexus and just couldn't attack enough turns before the combo came together for Estratti. Black Blaze Land number 3, finally.
Sort of. Again, with the Avon Mind Sensor. It's,
Yes, I mean, potentially. I mean, he doesn't actually have that many lands, Sam, does he? So, top 4, though, the odds are still in your favour, just not as much as
It's got to be an
general.
island. It can't be a Nexus. It, it can't be a... Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I'm saying it has to... Well, it's got to be an island anyway, but I'm saying
Yeah.
he's,
It's not
he's got
quite
a
as optimal as normal.
Yes. It's a little scary to do.
But I think we're potentially at the point where Sam has to be a little scary because the board is a little scary. It's going to pass for now. 5 creatures on the table. All belonging to Josh Utter-Leyton of the United States, San Jose, California. Doesn't bother with Exalted. He's just going to send Tarmogoyf and Gaddock Teague.
It's the instant sorcery artifact creature. I mean, land. Instant sorcery artifact land.
Instant
Yeah,
artifact,
5 total.
sorcery, creature, land.
9.
That is 5 damage from the Tarmogoyf.
Oh, artifact creature, instant sorcery, land.
Oh.
Artifact creature, instant sorcery, land. So I'm at 7.
Yep, so Sam is down to 7. And 1 turn away.
What can't that spell escape to?
Yeah. So end of turn, peer through depths.
Look at 4 cards.
That's search, this is look, so I still get C5.
Yes.
Thank you, Sam.
And there's a Slaughter Pact.
Well,
Disrupting Shoal. Was a spell sky going away there.
isn't this interesting?
Oh. Sam untaps, draws.
Where's Slaughter Pact?
Slaughter Pact the Aven Mind Sensor. Away it goes.
Snap.
Pitches preordained to pay the alternate casting cost on Snapback, snapping back
Yep.
the Gaddock Teague.
Yes.
Creature.
Animates
Make
his
it a
land.
creature. In it comes. No blocks.
Do you have
Progenitus
it?
Blazing Shoal. You don't have it! Sam Black! Oh boy! That's magic right there.
That was fantastic.
Oh, Slaughter Pact. Tomorrow never comes.
May I run to the restroom?
Josh Utter-Leyton. May I run to the restroom? Wow. Oh boy. Wow.
Yeah, like you said, it was going to be nearly impossible for Sam to figure a way out of that, but he sat back in his chair and he just thought about it until he figured out what the optimal sequence of plays was.
Draw my
Made
peer
them.
through depths.
Yep.
And I wonder, do we know whether that look, the discussion about look versus search, seeing 4 rather than 5?
No,
Was it the
Slaughter,
fi-
Pack,
it wasn't the
Slaughter,
fifth?
Slaughter Pack was right.
It was. It was 1, not
Slaughter Pack.
5.
Interestingly enough, he just would have drawn the Slaughter Pack next turn.
So we are. You can see there. That is not Josh Utter-Leyton anymore. That is Chikara Nakajima, the oldest man in our top 8. He is 35 years old. Runs a game store in Shinjuku, Japan, in the greater Tokyo region. And we are underway in their game 2 with Estratti. 1 to the good. Affinity red for Nakajima. Looking at a hand of double Torpor Orb and Galvanic Blast. There you see the Japanese hand. And Estratti has a hand full of goodness. We cannot yet see the board, so
Just
Blue-red.
Estratti saying blue-red. Nakajima has Memnite, Ornithopter, Signal Pest, and Vault Scourge on the board.
So he played 5 cards on turn 1.
Yep. And Estratti, we can see a Splinter Twin in hand for him. Nothing in play other than lands right now. Nakajima draws a mountain.
So it looks like Nakajima brought in his Torpor Orbs.
Yep.
And it doesn't. I don't think he has anything else he can bring in. Really, in this matchup, Mindbreak Trap not very exciting. Extra Champion doesn't help at all. Blood Moon, no, that's fine. And same with Magus of the Moon. On the other hand, Estratti gets such cards as Ancient Grudge.
Oh. Flashback, of course, coming
He gets
back in
Spell
Innistrad.
Skites, Engineered Explosive, Lightning Bolt. He gets to bring in a whole package of stuff. He gets to bring in a whole suite of removal.
But that's a good job, right? Because Nakajima, as we have seen, presents some threats. So Estratti, 1-0. Don't worry about that poison. That's going to stay at 0-0 right the way through this one.
Maybe.
quit with the... Really?
Well, we saw Nakajima get 5 poison on Estratti in game 1.
Okay. Yep, that's true.
Wow, Estratti really just always looks like he's in physical agony while he's playing Magic.
Yep. Watched over by head judge, fellow countryman, fellow Italian, Riccardo Tessitore.
There's now a... got the overhead camera going on now.
So we've got Volt Scourge, Memnite,
Frogmite,
Ornithopter, and Torpor Orb.
So a card that Estratti has to deal with if he would like to win. You know, Torpor Orb says that when creatures come into play, they don't...
no abilities trigger.
No abilities trigger, so no Pestermite abilities, no Deceiver Exarch abilities, no... Yep, you know, just, you can't do it. You got one. And, you know, one creature's not going to really cut it against Nakajima's deck.
Estratti up to 4 land. Taps his Cascade Bluffs and Island for Spellskite. Passes the turn. Both players in their first individual Pro Tour top 8. Estratti was part of the team with Ryuichi Arita and Kazuya Midamura that was 3rd at Pro Tour Charleston in 2006.
But that means he didn't win any Sunday matches since the top 4 was the only people who played on Sunday.
That's right, yeah.
While in Charleston, the team events traditionally just cut to a top 4.
That's right. So you've still got 12 people on set.
They still get called a top 8 for the purposes of, but really it's reaching Sunday is what that means.
Sure. Galvanic Blast reaches out to the Spellskite, which of course will deal 4 because you've got your Metalcraft.
Oh, we see that Estratti's hand is
Ancient Grudge
really
and the combo.
Very, very close to being able to win.
Yep. Antico Rancora, the Ancient Grudge on the right, and then the combo. So go fetch up a land. It's a mountain.
You see the breeding pool in play, which lets him be able to flash back the Ancient Grudge should he need to.
So he reaches out with the Ancient Grudge.
That's how he's playing it.
And Nakajima's like, okay. So Estratti rearranges his graveyard as Nakajima finishes shuffling. Frogmite is dead. Memnite and Volt Scourge get in. But the lifelink on the Volt Scourge is not going to help Nakajima in any way, shape or form. Pass the turn. No rush, because Deceiver Exarch has Flash.
Flash and Flashback, both relevant here.
So there's another Frogmite. Attack phase.
1 card.
It's 1 card. So is there any benefit to Estratti saying, okay, in you come, and then casting the Exile, and then using it as a 1/4 block, or is that absolutely not what you do here at all?
I mean, it depends on what he's worried about. He's going to just get the Torpor Orb.
With the flashback on the Ancient Grudge.
Yep. He's going to tap a mountain. Yes, he is. Tap a mountain and excite some Italians in the audience.
Few things excite Italians more than tapping a mountain. But I think we might see some more of the things that excite Italians before we're done here today.
Get in for one.
Yep.
752.
722.
Is his last card Galvanic Blast?
So, Estratti says 1, 2, 3, 4. Twin.
It is not.
Game. 2-0 to Samuele Estratti.
Will it be an all Sam finals?
The summer of Sam. Wow. Samuele Estratti 2-0 up. Sam Black doing the business against Josh Utter-Leyton.
And really, both games that we've just watched, we've seen sideboard cards. We've seen both players' sideboards just come into play tremendously. You know, so often you see players, at the store level just, put their deck back down and say, let's go. But you see, bringing in Ancient Grudge, bringing in the one Slaughter Pact.
Yep.
What a difference they make, and knowing what your opponent's going to be bringing in against you. The Ancient Grudge, yes, he's probably going to bring that in to kill creatures anyway, but really he knows, he's looked at this list, he knows he has to deal with a Torpor Orb because he can't win with that in play.
So there's Samuele Estratti doing an impression of what he's thinking about. I think I'll need that Ancient Grudge against Torpor Orb, strangely enough, and I suspect I'll be winning that Sam Black in the final. This was taken last night by 55 lifetime pro points. A real regular on the European Grand Prix circuit. You see him at all the big European events. And back-to-back national top fours. The best record in Modern, opposite Josh Utter-Leyton as well. So that's Estratti. And let's take a look at his storied, as it were, Japanese opponent, Chikara Nakajima. There you see it, 35 years old. He runs his own game store, as I say, just outside Tokyo. 136 lifetime pro points, so can vote for the Hall of Fame. Been playing for 15 years, right the way back in the day. 3 Grand Prix top 8s, the latest of which was a runner-up at Grand Prix Singapore this year, and as we mentioned, the 3rd at Pro Tour Charleston. I missed that event. It was just before I started coming to Pro Tours, right the way through. That felt, from the outside, reading the coverage, it felt like a really, really nice PT.
It was a great PT. It was Ravnica block constructed, and one of the few times we really got to explore that format. It didn't really exist as a PTQ format.
That's
the way that the events broke out. And it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of really great decks there. We saw tons of cards get played. Some, amazing players in that top 4. Mitamora, Ryuichi Arita, now Nakajima getting his 2nd top 8.
Yeah.
Gadiel Slifer,
Willie Adel, Palavita Dominarosa.
Yeah. It was a stacked event.
Yeah. And that was unified block constructed, wasn't it?
It was.
So you could only put 4 Simic Sky Swallowers into the 3 decks.
Sure.
Was the deal with that. Yeah, a lot of pros still talk about that format and say, that would have been a really fun format to explore as block.
Three-person teams is always just a fun way to play Magic, whether it's limited or constructed, and
for sure.
Get to play alongside your friends, get to kibitz over their shoulder. And
I tell you what, Modern is a format I would like to explore a lot further after this weekend.
Yeah, you're gonna go on Magic Online, start playing.
Oh yes. Yeah, 2 turns at a time.
I've played a fair amount of Cloud Post on Magic Online. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Interesting. A lot of the decks online had Oblivion Stone, which is not a card it's so interesting to see how the decks move forward in just like 2 weeks.
Not Ring. Stone.
Yeah, Oblivion Stone.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So they were able to just play it and blow up the board, and untap, and then do something.
The deck that's been really missing from the Magic Online metagame is, of course, Zoo, that Josh Utter-Leyton is playing. By and large, Zoo was considered online as not really being terribly viable, that it was just going to get battered by the speed of the combo decks.
And I think that's because people were attacking Zoo as a very traditional Zoo approach, which was, I'm going to try to burn you out and deal exactly 20.
Okay.
It looks like we're underway here.
So brace yourself for impact, because this is Affinity. Dark Steel Citadel. Here's a Signal Pest. That's it. Thank you. Oh dear. So we go back to Estratti, 2-0 up. Just looking to avoid the nut draw from Affinity 3 times running. And he's made a reasonable start because there's only 2 cards you can see on the right-hand side there.
He searches for an island. Just give you an update on the back table. It looks like there's a Grim Lavamancer in play for Josh Utter-Leyton, which is, Not an ideal card to have in play for Sam Black.
Little bit awkward.
Yeah, yes. Again,
Yeah.
another card, but we've seen already that he can deal with creature cards. Okay. A
Ponder.
Ponder. Learn your 3 Ps, people, if you want to play Modern.
Ponder, Peer, and Pre.
And we saw them, that set of cards in a lot of different decks. We saw it in Twin decks, we saw it in Ascension decks, we saw it in Swath Storm, we saw it in Goblin Storm, we saw it in, all over the place. So Island, Ponder, Pass.
Nakajima. There you see his hand. There's an Arcbound Ravager, Springleaf Drum, Frogmite, Torpor Orb. Mountain on the right, so Inkmoth Nexus out. Comes Springleaf Drum. He's going to use the Signal Pest with the drum. There's your Arcbound Ravager. Now there's Frogmite for free. Should cost 4, costs nothing. And we go back to the Italian.
He plays his second land and says go.
A bit of crack action
Or
first.
Perhaps he says Spellscape.
Yeah. Torpor Orb and Mountain, the relatively unexciting hand left for Nakajima at the moment. So no burn floating
Yep.
around currently.
Here comes the Spellscape.
Yep.
Thinking. Thinking? Thinking. Okay.
He's thinking about the Spellscape here. So it's just okay. Is he considering using the Arcbound Ravager's ability with the Spellscape on the stack to put tokens maybe on the
Sure.
Signal
Send it
pass.
around. Perhaps he just thought I'll sacrifice your Spellscape to my Arcbound Ravager. Let's see how that works in a PT top 8. Mox Opal is his, again, not very exciting draw, though, I mean, it has a use with the Ravager. Into the red zone, including the Inkmoth Nexus. So one wonders how big that's going to get this turn. Spellscape? Now I'm thinking, says Estratti.
This way.
So the Spellscape gets in the way of the Frogmite. We're going to do some sacrificing. The
This way.
Springleaf Drum.
4 damage and 2 poison.
4 damage and 2 poison.
Yeah, he's not going to be sacking the Arcbound Ravager with the Spellscape in play because of the modular ability.
Sure.
His target
Heads that way.
target artifact creature, so those are going to go over to his Spellscape.
Yep.
Torpor Orb is in play now.
Spellscape for Estratti and his 2 lands up against a succession of tapped creatures. Is it 14 and 2 poison?
You can't see his face, but we know Samuel's wincing here.
Land number 3. It's a very pretty island.
Oh, it's from Zendikar. It's one of my favorites.
Talking of very pretty islands, Honolulu, first PT of 2012. High five. Hope to see many of you there. It's sealed and draft format for the PTQs for that. M12 right now, and then it'll be Innistrad with two-faced cards.
Double-faced cards.
Indeed, they're not two-faced.
Two-faced cards are in a different card game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of
Different IP.
very nice transform effects.
Yes.
I know you talked with Aaron Forsyth about some new cards that are going to be coming out, and
I'm so excited about Snapcaster Mage, the Tiago Chan Invitational card.
Yeah.
That card seems absurd.
it does seem pretty good.
Okay. Turn has been passed back over.
Mox Opal, Springleaf Drum, activate my Inkmoth Nexus, and Estratti goes, let's see just how many artifacts you've got. Sure, in you come. Send the team. Estratti's like, yeah, and then 1, 2, 3. Deceiver Exarch.
I'm not flying,
Make a blocker.
and that's a problem.
It's not flying, and that's a problem, says Estratti. Yeah, I'll put it in front of Frogmite, I guess. Nakajima's looking, and wow. Estratti goes. Sacrifice the Springleaf Drum to the Arcbound Ravager.
I mean, is Estratti trying to bait him into sacking the Arcbound Ravager?
This way? Yeah. 5 damage and 2 poison.
5
Two
damage
poison
and
and
2
no life.
poison. Back we go.
So
Let's go
9 and
Estratti.
4.
And okay, so Estratti untaps, draws. He has 3 land in play. We know he has at least 1 in hand. He has Cascade Bluffs in hand. We've seen that for a while. And there it is. Does he have a twin?
It doesn't matter.
Certainly does. He passes the turn though.
Very rarely do we see Splinter Twin on a Deceiver Exarch
Yeah.
and then go.
Yep. Torperoll.
Right, enemy.
Yes, and then Volt Scourge.
18.
Send the boys.
Okay.
So Estratti wants to read Torperoll. Now it turns out,
Good
yes,
copy.
I can make a guy.
We actually see someone actually put a token
Poison?
for a Deceiver Exarch into play.
That gets in the way of the
Spellskite.
Arcbound Ravager. Spellskite just bounces off the Frog Knight. And Estratti's up to 6 poison and needs an answer to that Torperoll. Very soon.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Josh is looking like he's in great shape in Game 3 against Sam Black. He's got a Grim Lava Miniature in play. He's got a Sideways Nakata. He's got an Aven Mind Sensor manning the home front. Looks like a green creature that's under the overhead camera that's reaching across their table that I can't see. That's a Noble Hierarch. So, and he's got a, and he's got a handful of weapons with which to fight Sam.
Yes.
So it's looking like we are going to see a Game 4 there. But you know what? We thought that last game was going to go to Josh as well. Here's a cranial plating.
Okay.
Okay, says Estratti. 1 to equip.
Put it on my flyer. I have
the
a
Vault
lot of
Scourge.
artifacts.
Yep.
Okay.
And then, once again, we will be utilizing the red zone portion of the table. Count up.
Gets +1 from the signal pest. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's also a Kiki Jiki in play.
Yep. Strati just has to deal with the orb.
And it's Ancient Grudger now, right?
Yep, that sounds about right.
The Spellskate is gone. There's nothing to stop him from sacking his Ravager now. Oh no, the Spellskate's still there. Just blocking something. Does he not know?
So they're counting up.
Damage. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay.
And okay, that will do it. And Nakajima is off to the races. He has a win. And he takes it from under Torpor Orb. So it's 2-1 there. So we're going to take you back to the front table as soon as we're able. That's Sam Black against Josh Utter-Leyton. And Josh has a bunch of stuff on the table.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah, Bolt, you says Josh right now as we're heading over there. And in fact, they are at the end of that game. So Josh Utter-Leyton is underway. He has the win there. There you see the players just starting to shuffle up for their game 4.
So yeah, just I was just double checking to make sure the Spellskate ability, while it is able to be used on the modular ability, he was tapped out and would have had to pay the Phyrexian mana cost, and that 2 damage, that 2 life loss would have made a difference. Hey, let's take a look.
So we are looking at 2 of the top 10 Americans in action, Josh Utter-Leyton and Sam Black. And BDM, I really should shut up because, you know, this must make very happy reading for you because there are some very, very, very good players on there. And not just old guard, but some brand new names as well.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Jesse Hampton, we talked about he and Andres Pros both coming into their first Pro Tour as competitors. You know, a great story there. Josh Utter-Leyton, you know, really, you know, establishing himself as one of the dominant players in the game with his second top 8. Sam Black finally breaking through to the top 8 after dominating at every other level of competition. Brian DeMars, a vintage and legacy player, you know, doing very well. A couple of Hall of Famers in 14th, 15th place. Brian Kibler, the sort of champion of the Counter Cat deck.
Yep.
Hall of Famer, been playing since Pro Tour 1, played at Pro Tour 1 in the juniors, is still playing today. And alongside him is John Finkel. John Finkel, who's had a tumultuous week, an amazing whirlwind week.
He really has. So it's like not many people who have a week as busy as that. I'll test for a Pro Tour, I'll come 15th at a Pro Tour, I'll become an internet celebrity, I'll launch a charity. Yeah, I'll bring my 94-year-old grandfather along to his first Pro Tour to see me play. It's like extraordinary. We did a podcast interview with John, which you can check out on the website, and talking about his grandfather, just some extraordinary stories there. Terrific weekend for him.
Their good friend Tom Martell is friends with both the Kibler crew and the Finkel crew. Sort of straddles between the New York crowd and the California crowd.
Sure.
Matt Nass, you know, looked for a while like Matt was going to actually get his breakout performance He was near the top tables the whole weekend.
Absolutely.
The
I mean, of course,
Grand Prix Oakland champion.
That's right. Began 2010 as the leader in the Player of the Year race. And Josh Akakian, he's acquitted himself very admirably this weekend.
I was really impressed watching Josh.
Yeah.
He was never really fazed by being at the top tables. It was his second Pro Tour. Just a really nice guy. Played very, very well. We did a deck tech with him on his Splinter Twin deck.
That's right, yeah. So there you see the two players getting ready for Game 4. And like I say, the top 10 Americans, there's no doubt that America is at the height of the world game right now. No bones about that.
Well, I mean, and a lot of it has to do with, the Channel Fireball sort of based group. I mean, when you have Luis Scott Vargas and you have, Josh Utter-Leyton and David Ochoa and Brian Kibler and all these guys just working together for these events, you're gonna have not only great players playing, but they're gonna be playing great decks. I mean, this is a deck that is really not a hastily chosen deck. It's not a deck someone handed someone, right? This is a deck that was forged in a gauntlet of Modern over the course of a couple of weeks.
But also, you see, where you look at Sam in his Star City Games shirt, it's the Channel Fireball team that has made such a difference, but arguably the Star City Games Open Series that has led to so many opportunities for the next generation of American players to hone their game against.
And to be fair, Brian Kibler, who writes for Star City, is the champion of the Countercat deck. So it's kind of like the two big internet forces coming together.
Absolutely, both together. I mean, they're all terrific friends. This is not your kind of East Coast, West Coast from 1997 by any stretch of the imagination.
I'll draw.
Well, that's interesting.
Is that Josh Utter-Leyton electing to draw?
No, I think that's Sam Black
saying
electing to draw. Well, it's funny. I played a standard infect deck at the 75K in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and at the end of the day, after having it was not a very successful venture, but I was like, was I supposed to have drawn with this deck? It actually felt like you just wanted more cards.
Sure.
Very interesting.
Is Sam thinking that maybe he can, by putting Josh on the play, he can encourage the turn 3 Knight of the Reliquary or something?
Maybe he feels like he just needs more answers, right? He needs to find the answers to all the problems that Josh is presenting to him after sideboard. Gets the mulligan more aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he thinks Josh has a plan for on the play and on the draw. Like a lot of times, players will make different sideboard decisions based on whether they're playing or drawing.
Sure.
And maybe he feels like he can throw him out of sync by drawing. I don't think that's the case.
Well, Josh is looking at his opening hand because he had a Horizon Canopy, a Garrick Teague, Misty Rainforest, Tectonic Edge. There you see it, Wild Nacatl, Arid Mesa, and a Path to Exile. So he has a turn 1, a turn 2, and a Disruption spell with his 4 lands.
Sounds like Nakajima has come out of the gate again very fast in Game 4. Played a handful of creatures in a Torpor Orb over the first 2 turns.
Yep. So potentially we will get a Game 5 there, which will be our first of the day. All the quarterfinals went 3-1. Everyone, I don't know, it always seems like I've talked to people after quarterfinals where they've lost 3-0, and that is a slightly miserable experience. When you come in on Sunday and you go on and, you've got a tough matchup, even the people who know they're struggling. I definitely remember both Seb Tala and Raf Levy in top 8s where they've arrived and they've gone, I'm in real trouble. And then they lose 3-0 and went, told you I was in real trouble, and that can't be fun. But at least everyone got 1 win under their belt, under the lights. So, Sam, looking just as he does at Friday Night Magic at the store that he founded, he no longer owns, but he's been on that side of the table.
Right. So someone joked that this match would be decided in a staring contest.
Yes.
2 players very, very quiet at the table.
Yeah. I look forward to reading all the flavorful dialogue between the 2 in the text coverage. Or not.
I mean, Josh is just completely blank at the table.
Yeah. which can be very disconcerting to play against.
Yeah, not something I think is going to affect Sam very much.
Oh, no, sure. Fooled me for a long time. I didn't think Josh was that great a guy. Because he was just so incredibly, you know, you just couldn't read him at all, and he would never talk.
Sure,
and,
you don't get to know him as a
That's
result.
right. You just don't get to know him at all. But once I did, it was like, yeah, missed out on you, haven't I? So,
Sam is going down to 6 cards.
lovely story about Sam Black. One of the themes of this week has been, have you found love on the internet through magic? Someone who has is Sam Black, but not in the way you'd imagine. Turns out that a certain lady was watching coverage of one of the events, and he did a deck tech on fairies, and whereas everyone else is going, ooh, look at that sideboard, she's going, oh, who's that guy? And they are now together.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was apparently where she first discovered the wiles of Sam Black on a Pro Tour deck tech.
17.
Away we go. Misty Rainforest, that becomes Stomping Ground. It will be upright very briefly, and shortly after that, it will convert a Wild Cattle into play.
It's already a 2-2 without doing any other work.
And once again, that 17 life, not the issue. Inkmoth Nexus, turn 1 from Sam. Looks like Josh is drawn into Flash Freeze. Second land is Arid Mesa. I'll crack that.
Get a plains, attack for 3, Gaddock Teague.
Yeah. In comes the Wild Cattle. Hallowed Fountain and Stomping Ground now up for Josh. And here comes Mr. Teague. Bang. Thought this might be an issue for you, Sam, so I brought it along. Strati in the background continues to grimace. Now 2-1 up.
15.
Attack scene probe. We see a Flash Freeze. We see a Path to Exile. We see a Tectonic Edge. We see a Horizon Canopy. 3 or 4 of those are problematic for Sam.
Looks like he does not have a second land. He does not.
Also problematic.
Yes. Sam, remember the man who lost to Emanuele Giusti with the 3-card opener with no land.
For 5.
This is not going to go long, this one, is it? Go ahead and for 5.
Possibly in both of our matches.
8.
Yep.
14.
All right. Well, it sounds like Nakajima came out of the gate quickly, but he was not counting on a fire spout.
Okay, so that wipes the board.
Wiped the board, and now he's trying to get in behind an ATOG to finish the job.
Okay. And he needs to force a game 5.
He's down 2-1.
Still a bit soon to talk about 2 game 5s, because we said, how did Sam find his way out? And there was Slaughter packed at the ready. Just the right combination. In come the boys. 3, says Sam.
He has 1 turn to do it.
Yeah.
Through a Gaddock Teague, Path to Exile, Tectonic Edge doesn't matter with the number of lands that are in play.
I go to 2. I believe he's going to peer through depths here.
And a Flash Freeze.
He's probably going to look for that well-known sorcery target. Josh Utter-Leyton becomes an idiot for 5 seconds. But don't think there's much else that he can find. But we'll see. Look at the top 5. What do you got for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The way he's talking sounds clearly ready for game. The next one. Checks his hand, which has many cards but few options. There's a blighted agent there on the left. Basically, anything you see that's red in Sam's hand is only useful moments before your opponent dies. That's the kind of tell on that one. Josh continues to shuffle round his cards of goodness. And you see Teague and the cattle on the board. Sam has another look at the hand and 5, hand and 5. Path to Exile and Flash Freeze lie in wait. If he can find something that needs Josh to use them. I'll go and get a Blazing Shoal. Okay. Gaddock T says you can't do that. Sam draws. It's a land.
Needed to be Echoing Truth, Snapback, Slaughter Pact.
And they're all one-ofs. So his odds were not great. And he scoops up his permanents, and it is 2 games each. Josh Utter-Leyton kept his cool, went 2-0 down, and a match that he was favoured for, and he has come back to make it 2-2.
Well, again, remember that I really do believe that the strength of the counter card deck is in its sideboard.
Yep.
So, you know,
The chance to...
So it sounds like on the back table, the Estratti match, there's a Splinter Twin on a Deceiver Exarch, but Torpor Orb is meaning the only thing it's doing is basically churning out a chump blocker every turn for the ATOG while he looks for an answer for the Torpor Orb. So again, it's sort of like Ancient Grudge or no, while he has the combo assembled, but he just doesn't have the batteries for it.
So we are going to take you to the back table where Game 4 is in progress, and the deal here is that Estratti has his combo assembled, and there's obviously a but, because otherwise it'd be over, and the but is once again Torpor Orb.
Yep.
So there's Nakajima, and you see on the right of your screen the Torpor Orb. He's got a bunch of guys in play. Estratti is busy making blockers one at a time off his combo.
One card?
Just one card for Nakajima, Estratti. It's got to be miserable when you assemble your combo, but it still doesn't count. It's like right there in front of me. I can see the win. It's on the table.
I have it.
I have it. Yeah. What more do you want?
Only land. Mountains. Ah, yeah.
Plays Fire Spout.
So, everything being mountains. There's the board, so you can see an Outbound Ravager, a Memnite, and a Tog, and a Blink Moth Nexus up at the right of screen as you look.
Pestermite, which is flying, does not get affected by the Fire Spout. He did not pay any green mana for it.
What a good idea.
Yeah.
Like that. Good. So now Nakajima must decide what to do about that, what he's going to try and navigate round. It's always interesting when you see a card like Magus of the Moon come out. I remember very clearly lots of inexperienced players going, hey, wow, it's like Blood Moon, but I get a creature as well. And lots of good players going, it's like Blood Moon, but you get a creature as well. And, you know, right here is where, if only Torpor Orb had power and toughness, he'd be like, boom, thank you. So, some artifactual sacrificing going on. Fire Spout goes away. Blinkmoth Nexus has a couple of counters on. And we're back to Nakajima, who is really relying on that Torpor Orb right now to keep him in this event.
Just not quite sure what that accomplished for him. Ties up his mana, but maybe he would want to keep his ATOG alive and have his... Oh, he's going to tap something. He's going to play another ATOG.
And stuff.
Yeah.
End step.
Okay.
He's going to do it in such a way that it does it at the end of the turn, past the point where such things go away. He gets to keep it for a turn, untap, and maybe attack with it and do something.
Nakajima has seen it all before in his 15 years in the game. Estratti casts Ponder. It's level 4 pro from Italy.
It's looking for Ancient Grudge. He's just got to shuffle here. But he's thinking about it. He's 7, that the spell might be looking pretty good to him.
Looks like they're all going to stay on top. Oh, attack.
Attack. Attack. Ah, yeah.
What? What do you mean it's... Oh, attack, right. Yep.
16.
So Nakajima falls to 16 life. Maybe Estratti will make 4 less copies when he finally goes off. Italian at 7. Activate my Blinkmoth Nexus.
I got it.
So Nakajima 7 points away, which is not an awful lot when you think that he has Fling, he has Galvanic Blast, he has potentially a Shrapnel Blast.
He attacks with just the Nexus. Estratti makes a token, blocks.
Put it in the way. There's a second Blinkmoth Nexus now down. There's Deceiver Exarch, end of turn. We know that Nakajima only has the Torpor Orbs to bring in, so presumably pretty much all that burn is still going to be sitting in the deck somewhere. And with 2 Blinkmoth, well, needs to get them activated. It's a race. It's an unconventional race, but it's a race.
It's kind of like a sack race.
the 3-legged thing?
Yeah. Kind of fumbling along.
Yep. Springleaf Drum is going to come down and join the Japanese team.
Start making that ATOG menacing.
So in comes ATOG and...
No, both. I think he just activated both Nexuses. Oh, no, he did.
No.
He did attack with the ATOG.
Yep. ATOG and Blinkmoth go in, make a guy. The copy Pestamite will presumably fly up into the air, get in the way of the Blinkmoth Nexus. And the Deceiver Exarch's going to put itself in front of the ATOG and say, do you want to sacrifice some stuff? Can. Do you want to sacrifice that Torpor Orb?
Well, he might not want to sacrifice that, but he might sacrifice the Springleaf Drum. And
Indeed.
content to have them bounce. I mean, basically, you would have to sacrifice the Nexus and the other Nexus and the Drum in order to kill the Exarch. Chooses not to do that.
So just bounce. Estratti just says, yep, okay, Didn't draw the win that turn.
He could have. Well, he knows what he's drawing. He could have shuffled away. He wanted to keep the spell. He was really, concerned about a fling, concerned about a galvanic blast.
Yep. Currently, he's just out of danger range at 7. Once you hit 5, that's when you know you need your dispel to stick. It's getting very twitchy here in game 4.
Just attacking in the air.
Is it just this? Only this?
Make a copy once. We now have a cranial plating in play. And a Pestromite in play. And that looks like the grudge.
There's the grudge for Torporov. And there's the handshake.
Shows
the
them all
Italians go nuts. Samuele Estratti is into the Pro Tour Philadelphia final.
Engineered explosives too.
Engineered explosives as well by 3 games to 1. He advances. The first of the creature decks in the semis is done. Chikara Nakajima is done in the semi-finals. There will be an Italian in the Pro Tour final for the first time since Mario Pascoli against John Finkel, Kuala Lumpur 2008. And he will face one of America's finest in that final. But who will it be? It will be one of these two gentlemen right here. Either on the left of screen, Mr. Sam Black from Madison, Wisconsin. On the right of screen, Mr. Josh Utter-Leyton. And we are ready to go.
Both players are starting with 7 cards. No mulligans on either side.
So we are away. Josh Utter-Leyton begins with one of the most straightforward turn ones. None of this cracked land nonsense. Just stomping ground, tab it, wild and capital.
Yep, that's going back to your earliest days of Magic, where you'd play Taiga and Kerding.
Sorry, can't possibly.
So it is the decider.
See the overhead camera swinging around. Ponder.
So Sam looks at a hand that is all blue, so he does not have either Dragonstorm or Progenitus right now, or Blazing Shoal.
Peer Through Depths is a card that can fix that generally for him.
Josh has Kasali Pride Mage. Looks like he has another Wild and a Cattle in hand. Oh no, Noble Hierarch. Fair amount of land. Right now, it looks to me like Josh doesn't have an awful lot of answers. There you see his hand. It's all looking very pretty, but I'm not sure it actually does an awful lot. Kasali Pride Mage looks like it may be up next. So much riding on this. Chair at the final table. Tens of thousands of dollars. It is indeed Kasali Pride Mage.
Attack for 4. Oh. I might respond, says Sam Black. Is he gonna snap back a Wild Mikado and buy himself some time? Oh no, he's gonna Disrupting Shoal.
Getting rid of Blighted Agent. So then, Josh will pile in with Wild Cattle. What we know, but Black doesn't, is that right now Josh does not have an answer. He still does not have an answer. But Sam doesn't have what he needs either.
No, he's not that far off from it.
No, he's Peer Through Depths. Bring down Noble Hierarch. End of turn, Peer Through Depths.
Yep.
Now, does Sam have a Gitaxian Probe? Because if he does, he's going to really like what he sees from Josh. There is nothing red there.
There's a Gitaxian Probe in that.
In that collection of 5, there's a Spell Skite, which he can't get, of course. Instant or sorcery off Peer Through Depths. Josh is holding a hand of nothing. 3 very pretty lands. Sam right now doesn't know that. There you see the set. Innistrad is on the way, but right now it's modern all the way from 8th edition.
He took another peer through depths.
Okay, so Sam untaps. Lays land number 3. Passes the turn. End of turn for Josh. I'll tell you what, I'd like to draw something a bit more interesting than land. So we get rid of the canopy. Has another wild Nakatl. That looks... Nakatl 4. So black is down to 9. Another land from Utter-Leyton, runs out wild Nakatl, passes, end of turn. Here goes peer through depths once again. Black just wants to fight, can't find it again. This time it's preordained. Where are the Dragon Storms and the Progenitors hiding? He's got Pact of Negation in his hand, so in a way he doesn't, as long as Josh doesn't have 2 answers, he doesn't care. Preordain.
Yep.
There's a Dragon Storm there. What am I going to do with that? I'm going to put one on the top, one on the bottom. I'll give you one guess what he left on top. Do you know it was Dragon Storm? Too late. Had to tell you. He has the Dragon Storm. He has an Inkmoth Nexus. He does not have Blazing Shoal. He has Counter Magic.
I believe he has another peer through depths. Does he have another turn? That's what he doesn't know.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't know if there's a Bolt or a Lightning Helix in his future, which would mean...
Go.
He has a Disrupting Shoal in hand, as well as his Pact of Negation, so he must feel reasonably secure that he can fight through the kind of to-your-face plan from Josh. Josh finds Dryad Arbor off his Misty Rainforest. All weekend, Sam Black has been killing people with metronomic regularity, and here at the last, in the semi-final at 2 each, he's really struggling to find the final pieces. Lightning Helix has been drawn by Josh Utter-Leyton. Black at 9. The only card you care about in that hand is Lightning Helix. In I come. Smash. I go to 2. Sam Black is at 2. Josh has Helix there. In response to Peer Through Depths, Lightning Helix. I'm gonna say no, you can't do that. Here's my Disrupting Shoal. So the Helix goes away.
Is
Black
it there,
now gets
too?
to peer for 3. No. 4. No. 5.
Wait.
There's a Ponder. Oh boy! There are hundreds of people watching this. A great
Brian
moment.
Cole, Drew Levin standing up.
Draw for the turn. Ponder. What's there? Blue card. Spellskite. Blue card. Preordain.
He does not have another land.
4 cards.
He's going to have to shuffle.
He's gonna shuffle. Oh boy!
Just flip it over.
He's saying, here's my hand. You want to see my hand? Here it is right now.
It's going to be 1 card off the top.
Oh, come on. Magic does not get better than this, wherever you are around the world. Cut.
Choose the form of your destroyer. Oh.
Inkmoth Nexus. Josh Utter-Leyton gets there. Oh boy.
That was amazing.
Oh boy.
I assume you know that you misplayed game 1. Huh? I assume you know that you misplayed game 1.
No. No, I would have liked to have heard that.
Oh, that's unreal. That is unreal.
So Josh Utter-Leyton gets through Sam Black as predicted earlier.
Oh, will
by,
you stop saying that so calmly?
by you.
Yeah.
But it was
not,
never
in doubt.
It was it was not nearly as easy a road to the finals as many people predicted for Josh.
No. I mean, Sam went 2-0 up. Josh comes back 2-1, 2-2, and then
Game 5 comes down to just the turn of the last card.
the number of times he dug there. I mean, and we saw the Dragonstorm and the Progenitors within his hand almost the whole of the top 8. They were stuck together virtually the entire time. And then right when you need it, in Game 5, it doesn't quite function as advertised.
Well, I mean, it did function as advertised. He got so many opportunities there.
Sure.
You really see, I mean, that's what the deck does, right? It's just like, I get to look again. A lot of, you're playing a different deck. It's just like, all right, here's my top card for the turn. It wasn't what I needed. I guess you win. This is like, dig. And even if he had another land, maybe there was a preordained there at one point, right?
Yeah.
So that was terrific to watch.
It was epic
And
magic.
every single person in this room was on the edge of their chair, standing up. They had their cameras out. They had their video cameras rolling. Just amazing.
That was fantastic. That's one of the best things I've ever seen of Magic, and I've been watching Magic for 15 years.
Right, one of the best non-top decks of all time.
That's right, but comfortably up there. Oh boy, Sam Black, you gave us everything. That's unreal. And meanwhile, Josh looks extremely calm, and his heart rate may have gone up a couple of notches.
Into the 40s.
But not even the 140s, the 40s. So the semi-finals are done, and what they were, just really just epic encounters. Samuele Estratti gets past Chikara Nakajima, and you took Nakajima there. What were you? When I say what were you thinking, I don't mean what were you thinking.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking that the games were going to play out sort of similarly to the way they did. I mean, I was 0 for 2 in the semifinals. It hurts a little there.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure you're terribly sorry.
Hurt inside.
I just thought he has the torpor orbs, and he has this just incredibly explosive openings. He has the ability to fight through some of the hate cards. He's got the ability to use modular and do a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
But Ancient Grudge, Flashback, coming soon in Innistrad.
Yeah, it's a mechanic I love so much.
We saw him take out 2 key cards, right? He's like, I'm going to buy myself a turn, I'm going to kill your Frostbite, I'm going to untap, I'm going to kill your Torpor Orb, and then I'm going to kill you.
So that was semi-final 1, and then we had the All-American clash, Sam Black against Josh Utter-Leyton. Sam did not think he would win that, but he certainly gave us good value as he tried.
Oh my gosh. Josh Utter-Leyton felt, he was a favorite, felt that his sideboard really favored him going into the last 4 games. And, it took all 4, but he got it. And he is advancing to the finals for the first time in his career.
So we now know our final lineup for Pro Tour Philadelphia 2011. We're going to reset the stage, give our finalists a moment or two to collect their thoughts and let the heart rate come down. And then they will be playing for tens of thousands of dollars on the turn of a card. Join us again in 10 minutes for the final.